No matter what their public appearances may say about them, celebrities turning out to be terrible people has become a frequent realization. This often comes as a shock from fans, as many celebrities are quite convincing in their positivity shticks, and it's no wonder as to why, with large teams behind them trying to make their client look as good as possible to the public eye. But even with those teams making their best attempt to do good on those celebrities, the celebrities in question often end up to be treating them quite badly, many times betraying them completely. It happens so often, in fact, this is actually a part 2 video counting down the top 10 celebrities exposed for betraying their staff. Coming in at number 10 is obviously Lizzo. In the lawsuit filed by Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez, former backup dancers for Lizzo, they've made several allegations against the singer in a lawsuit filed on Thursday. The claims made include religious and racial harassment, disability discrimination, assault, and false imprisonment. They allege that the singer once pressured Davis to inappropriately touch a nude performer while in Amsterdam, saying, quote, Lizzo began inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers and eating bananas protruding from the performers. The complaint goes on to accuse Lizzo of pressuring Ariana Davis to, quote, touch the breast of one of the nude women performing at the club, and began leading a chant goading her to do so despite expressing her discomfort. The plaintiffs say they were shocked about how little regard Lizzo showed for the bodily autonomy of her employees and those around her. The suit goes on to say that Lizzo pressed Davis for an explanation as to why she seemed less bubbly and vivacious than she did prior to starting the tour. Davis argues that the questions were, quote, thinly veiled concerns about her weight gain, which Lizzo had previously called attention to after noticing it at the South by Southwest Music Festival. The complaint also accused a dance captain, Shirley Quigley, of religious harassment. Quigley allegedly monitored Davis's virginity and, quote, singled out Rodriguez as a non-believer. The last part of the complaint regards an assault claim that Rodriguez made against Lizzo, claiming that she approached the dancer and began, quote, aggressively yelling profanities, cracking her knuckles and balling her fists, apparently preparing herself to attack her, which led to Lizzo allegedly having to be restrained. Additionally, Davis alleges that the happened after she was, quote, confined to a room against her will and was told she's, quote, not allowed to leave unless she submitted to a search of the contents of her phone. Davis claims she was fired for recording a meeting with without Lizzo's knowledge, but says she believes that the termination was due to her aforementioned weight gain. Williams was also terminated for alleged budget cuts just weeks after being wrongfully accused of drinking on the job, while Rodriguez resigned. The suit has come to a shock to many, as the previous public perception of the singer was one of body positivity values and frequently spread the idea of accepting yourself and others. At number 9 is the former talk show host Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen's once beloved talk show has been off the air for quite some time, the root cause behind its cancellation being the treatment she subjected her staff to. Throughout recent years, many stories have surfaced revealing that DeGeneres may as well be one of the meanest people in the industry, despite her entire persona being built upon the phrase, be kind to one another. After podcast producer Kevin T. Porter posted to Twitter asking people to share their most insane stories regarding Ellen, he received an overwhelming amount of answers. One person responded saying that after she served DeGeneres brunch, the talk show host complained about the server's chipped nail polish nearly costing the woman her job. Another said that many staff for the Ellen show weren't allowed to look Ellen in the eyes. Former employees on her show say they faced racism, fear, and intimidation from the host, adding that they were fired after taking medical leave or bereavement days to attend family funerals, while many others experienced racist comments, actions, and microaggressions. The Ellen show was cancelled 2 years ago, and no one really cares about her anymore, and that's probably for the best. At number 8 is Mike Myers, the comedian, not the bad guy, although he also did his fair share of betrayal. After a successful ride on SNL, starring in multiple thriving movie franchises, including but not limited to Shrek and Austin Powers, he became a household name. However, as of late, the actor has fallen out of the limelight along with a bit of a fall from grace. Many co-stars and crew have coined him as a total diva. As much as his personality on screen may seem lighthearted and fun, Amy Hill, Mike's The Cat in the Hat co-star, revealed in an interview with the AV Club that working with the man was, quote, miserable. Apparently, he kept everyone waiting and even had someone feed him chocolates on set. Hill also claimed that Myers didn't like anyone looking at him on set, saying, quote, he had his handlers dress his trailer and his area was all covered with tenting because he didn't want anybody seeing him. Hill claimed of the actor, who she also called a little hermit. She added, it was so weird, it was just the worst, and we haven't really heard much from the man since, which is a pretty great example of what happens when you aren't a great person to be around. At number 7 is Kourtney Kardashian. It's no surprise that the Kardashians aren't the nicest people to their staff, especially after recent reports surfaced that revealed the Kardashians were very kind and respectful to the camera crew when Keeping Up with the Kardashians first premiered in 2007. However, as the show progressed and the family gained more fame, their kindness and respect for the crews they worked with dwindled, causing unpleasant and unfriendly moments behind the scenes. This is so utterly ridiculous because their show would quite literally not exist without a camera. Kourtney has come under fire again after an ex-nanny told Star magazine that although Kourtney may appear to be a down-to-earth mother of 3, she is an incredibly finicky boss. One of her ex-nannies said, quote, she asked me to call her madam at all times. I once slipped up and called her Kourtney and she threw a hissy fit. I never made that mistake again. At number 6 is Kate Gosselin, another reality TV star that apparently apparently makes her nanny's life a nightmare. In 2014, a former nanny who worked for Gosselin revealed that the mother of 8 made her babysitter's life incredibly hard, which is strange since you'd think it'd be the 8 kids. Gosselin's behavior is allegedly quite condescending and patronizing to her nannies, also letting absolutely nothing slide. Apparently, Gosselin even wrote a rule book that her nannies are supposed to follow. These rules were said to be so ridiculous and over the top that, according to the anonymous source, most of Gosselin's nannies quit almost immediately after receiving it. At her halfway point is Jennifer Lopez. Low pay for service jobs is a common occurrence. It just feels incredibly insulting when the person paying you is as notoriously wealthy as J-Lo. Alongside the fact that you're working so close to on a personal team, it feels like a betrayal when your paycheck barely cracks the surface of being minimum wage. Recently, Radar Online has posted that an anonymous source revealed that Lopez's staff started calling the singer Pay Low behind her back. Not only does Lopez pay her employees an extremely low wage, but she also expects them to work really hard, which is telling of how entitled she is, which is, I guess, hard not to become after spending so many years being so widely loved. Her decision to pay her team the same wage as a 14-year-old at a fast food restaurant, which as well, don't get me wrong, they deserve better too, just shows how little she cares about them as people and doesn't have any concern for their quality of life. Our number 4 spot on the list goes to Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller used to pass for an eccentric Jonas brother, and now he looks like a guy who just stays in his house trying to figure out conspiracy theories, which seems like a natural evolution. Ben's best known for his iconic yet neurotic characters such as Zoolander and the guy from That Night at the Museum, but many co-stars and crew have been known to say that he's completely different in real life, not funny or interesting. In fact, many say there's no funny bone in his body, and to add insult to injury, he's said to be egotistical and unreasonable. On the set of Meet the Fockers, he earned himself an unfortunate nickname, and it was noted that the actor wasn't happy unless he was waited on by everyone around him, getting upset if he didn't get exactly what he wanted. The actor would often throw tantrums over little things and wouldn't give them up until he got his way. At number 3 is Victoria Beckham, yet another celeb who treats her nannies in a really weird manner. The multi-talented and ex-Spice Girl Victoria Beckham is quite a serious person, so it comes as no surprise that she expects her staff to work hard. Wanting your employees to care about their job is understandable as long as they're paid fairly and experience mutual respect from their employer. However, it turns out that the Beckhams don't offer any such respect and instead are very mean to the people who work for them. A former nanny of the Beckhams has revealed that Victoria Beckham expects the nannies to answer to the name Joe, even if their name is not Joe. That sounds pretty ludicrous and confusing because literally why? There's never been a solid explanation as to why the Beckhams have decided to do this, but people have speculated that the very first nanny of the Beckhams' daughter Harper was named Joe. Perhaps the family just doesn't want to confuse their kids or something. But even so, forcing your nannies to answer to the name Joe when their name is something else is not only very strange, but also dehumanizing and flat out unsettling. It makes it seem like the nannies do not even deserve the respect of being treated like a person. And why doesn't their child have the ability of understanding when a new person is around? Wouldn't that be more confusing? Our runner-up is Courtney Love. The singer is another on a long list of celebs that have been outed for allegedly not paying her employees fair wages. Love apparently promises big things to her staff but fails to deliver on her promises, such as in 2010 when Love hired Jessica Labrie as her assistant. She allegedly promised a lot of big things, including bonuses, promotions, a scholarship to Yale, a job on the set of the Nirvana biopic, and even a job at Love's music management company. Unsurprisingly, Labrie agreed to work for Love, but unfortunately, Love failed to deliver on all of her promises. This ended in a lawsuit against Love, and Labrie didn't even complain about the dropped promises, but instead the $2,000 worth of unpaid wages owed to her by Love. Betrayal is always awful, but to do something to someone as close to you as a personal assistant is quite tragic. At our number 1 spot is Naomi Campbell. The English supermodel and actress has a long history of physically her personal assistants. Campbell reportedly has a short temper and has allegedly been said to have anger management problems. These are hard things to deal with, however, on her to keep them under control, which apparently she does not, and instead has made any work environment she's been in incredibly toxic. In 2000, Campbell was sued by her assistant Georgina. Apparently, Campbell assaulted her with a telephone in a hotel room and then threatened to push her out of a moving car. Now, in 2004, Campbell supposedly headbutted her personal assistant Amy, bit her lip, and yanked her to the floor while screaming in her face. And in 2006, Campbell allegedly hit her housekeeper Anna with a mobile phone. That same year, Campbell is said to have slapped her personal assistant Amanda and hit her on the head with a mobile phone as well. Campbell slapped and abused her personal assistants and housemates in recent years too. No amount of time theft or forgotten assignments would ever warrant abuse. Maybe that's why she's gone through as many assistants as she has. And that brings us to the end of the top 10 celebrities exposed for betraying their staff part 2. Let us know if you forgot any in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.